Hello, welcome to Bob's Dungeon. My name is Bob, I'll be your host. And the World of Darkness in its day was a very popular line of games. You had Vampire, Werewolf, Mage, Changeling, Wraith, and they had lots of supplements for those books. And they even came out with brand new core rule books for some of those games set in different time periods. For Vampire, it was the Dark Ages. For Wraith, it was the Great War. And so forth and so on. For the Werewolves, however, it chose a very unique time period for them to come out with a new core rule book for. And in this video, we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about Werewolf the Wild West. This book has 287 pages and a copyright of 1997. It was published by White Wolf Games, and all of the artwork in this book is in black and white, and it's pretty decent. So let's go ahead and look at that artwork. All of the artwork in this book is in black and white, with every chapter in this book starting with a full-page picture. The artwork itself is pretty decent, setting a proper tone and mood for this game. There are also several pages of a comic strip that goes through a story, and on the reverse pages it tells you how the rules work in those panels, so you can get a flow of how the game is actually played. To use this book, what you're going to need is, of course, a copy of this core rule book and as many 10-sided dice as you get your hands on. Now, the original Werewolf book has claw marks through the cover, so you can see the first front page under the cover, which is a neat gimmick. This one is made to make it look like it's made out of wood, and it has a mock bullet hole through the whole book, so each page has a hole in it. So the first thing we'll look at is character creation, and we'll start with the abilities. And there are 9 abilities total, broken up into 3 smaller categories: your physical, your mental, and your social. And the abilities are strength, dexterity, stamina, charisma, manipulation and appearance, perception, intelligence, and wits. And each of these will start with one dot in them for free. They rank from 1 dot to 5 dots. You get 1 dot for free. Then you got to pick your priorities. And by that, I mean either your physical, your mental, or your social. Whichever is your primary category will get 7 dots to split up amongst them. Your free dot does not count against it. Your next most important will get 5 dots to split up amongst them, and your least most important will get 3 dots. And that's your abilities. Then you figure up your attributes. And these are your talents, your skills, and your knowledges. And these are different things you know how to do. And there are no free dots here in any of them. First, you pick your priority attribute, which will get 13 dots to split up amongst them. Like the abilities, they rank from 1 dot to 5 dots. Your next most important will get 9, and your least most important will get 5. After that, you pick a breed for your character, and this will be either Homid, a Metis, or a Lupus. And this is what your character was born as. A Homid, you're born as human. A Lupus, you're born as a wolf. And for a Metis, both your parents were werewolves, and you are a mutant freak to be shunned. That's the way it works. But anyway, this will give you your starting gnosis. Then you pick an allspice, and this is what sign of the moon you were born under. There's the Ragabash, the Thurge, the Philodox, the Gillard, and the Arun. And like I said, those are for the different signs of the moon, and this will determine your starting rage. Then you'll pick a tribe that you belong to. And the tribes you have to pick from are the Black Furies, the Bone Gnawers, the Children of Gaia, the Fiona, the Geta Fenris, the Iron Riders, the Red Talons, the Shadow Lords, the Silent Striders, the Silver Fangs, the Stargazers, the Uktana, and the Wendigo. And your tribe will determine your starting willpower. After that, you figure up your backgrounds. You get 5 points to split up for backgrounds. Then you get your gifts. You'll get 3 gifts total. 1 gift from each your breed, your allspice, and your tribe. And those will be first level gifts. After that, you'll note down your character's rank, which will start at 1. You'll get no renown at character creation. After that, you'll get 15 freebie points to buy more dots and the various things. And each thing has its own amount of freebie points that had to be spent on it. And that's character creation. And pretty easy, pretty fast. And that's a standard for all White Wolf games. Your character is a werewolf, as if the Wild West wasn't wild enough with everybody shooting each other up. Now you got people running around that can change into horrible monsters to rip people apart. And like in regular werewolf, each werewolf has 5 forms that they can shift through. You got your Hamid, which is your human form, your Glabrio, which is something between the human and the war form, the Krenos, which is considered the war form, which is your full-on werewolf, that half man, half wolf thing. You have your Hispo, which is something between your Krenos and your wolf form. And then you have your Lupus, which is a full-on wolf form. And your Hamid form has no bonuses to it, but all the others will give you bonuses depending on what form you're in. So that's pretty cool. And there are rights that your character can get. The gifts your character has are supernatural abilities they have beyond just being a werewolf. But the rights are certain things they can learn that they're rituals, if you will, that you can use for special occasions, special hunts, or even punishments to place on people. And they require more time and effort than your regular gifts. But the rules in this game are pretty simple. It's the same as all White Wolf games. For each dot you have, it represents a 10-sided die. And when you go to perform a task, you add an attribute and an ability together, the dots on them, and that tells you how many dice you roll. You roll those dice against a difficulty number, and you're trying to get as many successes as you can. The more successes you get, the better off you've done. And if you roll a 1 will eliminate a success. And if you have 1s left over and no successes, then that's a botch. And something really bad happens. If you roll a 10, that's an automatic success. So anyway, you want to roll as good as you can and get as many successes as you can when you roll. Now, that's pretty much it as far as being able to do things goes. There's lots of other rules for you to bear in mind. It has rules for the Umbra, which is the spirit world, which werewolves can cross over into. And the layout for both the real world and the spirit world and the Wild West is different than what you'd find today. And they touch on that in here. And it has everything you need to play the game. You don't need the core rule book for Werewolf the Apocalypse to be able to play this. This is its own self-contained thing. And, but knowledge of Werewolf the Apocalypse would help you immensely. But this book has a list of antagonists that you can throw at the players. It has other spirits that they could run into and totems that they can use to enhance their pack or what have you. But all in all, it's a pretty neat book. If you like westerns and want to know what a monster would look like running through there, this is a good book to look at. Which brings me to 3 questions. Would I play a character in this game? And yeah, if somebody was going to run it, I might play, but I'm not big into westerns, so yes or no there. Would I run this game? If I had players interested in the setting, werewolves running around the Wild West, gunslinging werewolves, then yeah, I might run it. It's been a while since I've done old World of Darkness stuff. Would I recommend this book? If you like Werewolf the Apocalypse, this would be a neat book to get and look at and maybe try, so you can try that werewolf thing from a different perspective, from a different angle, doing something different with it. Because there's some neat stuff that you could do in here, and it gives you something different to do with your werewolves. So yeah, I'd recommend it on those accounts. But thank you for joining me. I had a look at this book, and hopefully you'll join me next time where we'll talk about something else. Bye.